This is John. I play in a project called Enoch, not the black metal, whatever, Satan band, but post-rock band. Anyway, this is my pedalboard. Everyone's kind of doing one of these things, so I figured, why not? I will as well. Maybe something to nerd out on, and also maybe get some suggestions or whatever. But anyway, I think there's a Pedal Train Pro or something like that. I've got a ZVEX Fuzz Factory, which hates input from any buffered pedal. So that kind of has to go first in my chain, because you just can't put it in a loop or have any buffered pedals anywhere near it. And that's Brixton. So anyway, it goes out of that into the volume pedal. The volume pedal is not supplying the chromatic tuner. That's coming out of a tuner output on the one control looper. I've heard that you kind of split your signal by using the output on the volume pedal. I've never tried that. I don't know if that's true or not, but I just didn't want to take the chance, and I didn't really have time to mess with it. I do like being able to have the tuner on though while I'm still playing, and that allows you to do that out of the foot control, whereas this going through here kills the entire signal. But anyway, so it comes out of the pedal into the noise suppressor. You can see I'm just doing input and output. I'm not doing a send due to the one control looper, and I don't want to put it in the in and out of that because I don't want it to cut off any reverb or delay trails, and I'm sure someone will call me an idiot for that, and I'm open to suggestions of how I might do that. But anyway, it goes out of that pedal into loop 1, which goes back out into the AC booster, which I'm really using as a compressor preamp. I'm not really using the gain on it. The crunch and the gain, it's coming from the Sparkle drive, which doesn't have any. It has a tone knob, but it doesn't have a bass knob, which is kind of where I get the bass knob here on the AC. So anyway, that's just loop 1. I use my amp distortion a lot, so the fuzz, these two together, if I really want to crank them up, can create some distortion, and then I just use the Marshall's distortion if I want. So loop 2 then goes straight out of loop 2 into the tremolo, which then goes into the input of the Super Ego, output of that into the POG. By putting the tremolo first, I can send that here and hold it and kind of get almost an orchestra swell sound of it, and then hold it here, turn this off, and then go playing with this droning in the background. If I did it the other way, I'd have to keep this on, and then therefore I'd have that effect on the new signal I was playing. I do not have the POG going through the effects loop with the Super Ego. I do that because I sometimes like doing straight POG, which is basically just a, it's called a polyphonic octave generator, and that's basically what it is. It has kind of an organ sound to it, almost a movie soundtrack sometime. And if I put the tremolo first, I can also kind of get a Leslie sort of organ sound if I ever wanted to, which I don't, but I could. And anyway, I would at some point like to run a chorus pedal through the Super Ego effects loop. I just haven't done that yet. I can do that on Logic right now. I don't have to. I don't really need that, so I don't do it. So then that's loop 2. Loop 3 goes into the DD6 digital delay. I kept that on my board as opposed to the DD3, because this has hold and reverse and stuff like that. It has a little more options, and it has a tap tempo, which the DD3 does not. Then that goes to the Eventide time factor, which is essentially 2 different delays. You can control the feedback and the delay time of each, so I can do a 30-second note on one and maybe a 8th-note triplet on the other. All the other controls are kind of universal though, and I can mix the 2 delays, which one I want more prevalent. And then that comes back into loop 3, and then that goes out to the Digitech or whatever they call it now. They call it another name, but it's Digitech Supernatural Reverb. It has a really great shimmer on it. Has a good plate. Then there has like a Shine, which is a modded plate. And then there's like a modded spring. Then there's a Supernova, which is kind of a mix of a shimmer and some other things. Then there's the shimmer, and then plate mod, which I don't really use that much. But I really like the shimmer on this, and plus I can just use it for just kind of straight reverbs if I want, and then I can go into the Big Sky, which is arguably one of the probably best reverb pedals out there, where I can have more control and do kind of crazy effects, and also program that and eventually sync that via MIDI with this, and I can just recall my settings for each song. And that comes back into loop 4 to 5, and then 5 out is just my actual phrase looper, which you know, so I can play 2 guitar tracks. That goes out back into here, then this goes into output into a junction box, which just goes out back to the Marshall, and that's about it. I am powering, the one control has power. If you send it power here, it will then give you like 100 milliamps on 5 more options with 100 milliamps. I don't need that yet, I don't have the room for it, but it's there as an option, and I purposely, let me put that, purposely powered that with a 400 milliamp. This is a Voodoo Labs, which Power Plus or something like that, which has 2 400 milliamps, and the rest are 100 milliamps. And then these 2 are adjustable. Right here, you can, you know, freak out some older fuzz pedals and stuff like that if you want. I'm actually powering both the Super Ego and the Pog with 400 milliamps. I don't have to do that. They probably only take 300, so I'm waiting on a splitter, which will free up a spot here. Again, not that I really need it. Then over here, though, this is all 400 milliamps. This is the Voodoo Labs Digital. I just kind of strapped it onto the bottom. This is kind of screwed in, bolted in. And all these outputs are 400 milliamps, which is what you definitely need for the Big Sky and the Eventide. Unfortunately, the Jam Man is an AC pedal. It does not take DC, so it has to have its own power supply, which is kind of annoying to have to plug 2 things in, but it's kind of white people problems really at the end of the day. So that is about it. I'd like to hear anyone's suggestions about, I know some people will just say throw a noise suppressor in the garbage, it's the best place for it, but I find it does keep it quiet without too much tone suck. You know, but going through the looper, yeah, the only way I really decided it worked well was just input and output, and that's it. And you know, it puts a buffer at the front of my signal chain, which I don't know. This is a buffered pedal. This is a buffered pedal. This is true bypass if you want it to be. And then the rest of these are true bypass for the most part. I'm not sure about this is true bypass, and I would imagine with this switch this is. I guess this is probably buffered as well. So it's a lot of buffering, I guess. But at the end of the day, I get a pretty clean signal coming out of the amp. I've replaced the cables recently, which helped. A friend made me some custom cables. It helped the sound immensely. I was surprised how different that was from the cables I was using that just came with a standard Boss, whatever that stupid pedal thing that they had, and the cables that came with it, they're crap. Don't use those. These things are expensive as hell, but it will make a difference. So anyway, if you have any questions about any of the specific pedals, I may or may not know them. The Big Sky is pretty new. I've not been using much of that in the recording of the new album just yet, because it's brand new. I should have gotten it a long time ago, but it costs a lot of money, so there's that. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks.